I just think he thinks he can sort of do any of these things and threaten and bluster and unleash these mighty American military forces, which are mighty, and somehow just get a wonderful outcome all the time. And I worry about that.
And before we're joined by Bill Kristol of the Bulwark and many, many other worthy organizations, please subscribe to our own YouTube channel, Michael Medved Official. Bill Kristol is the director of DefendingDemocracyTogether.org. He is an editor-at-large and Morning Shots co-author at thebulwark.com. And he is the host of Conversations with Bill Kristol. And his very latest on X says, I view this war with deep skepticism, but I always want what's best for my country. And I say, amen to that. And then he adds, Bill Kristol, I've been trying to give the administration some benefit of the doubt, and I suppose it's possible things will still turn out well, or at least not too badly. Okay, what is the best that can happen with this war as you see it, and what, dare we go there, is the worst that could happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think decapitating the Iranian leadership is good, and they deserve what they've gotten, really, if I can say it that way. And we may end up with a better regime there, and well, hopefully a more liberal and democratic one. And the people of Iran deserve to be freed after all these decades of the really terrible theocratic tyranny they've had to suffer under. Iran would pose less of a threat, presumably, to its neighbors, and it might not be a wonderful place, but it will be at least not a dangerous place, either internally perhaps or externally. And so that would be good, and Israel will be secure, and the Gulf states will be sort of left alone a little more, and we will wind up our operation and kind of withdraw pretty much, and that will be that. That would be a very good outcome. I mean, I think it's history that suggests it's hard to achieve that with just a lot of bombs, because we don't control anything on the ground, and the chances of the current regime digging in, or of a splinter group of the current regime taking over that could be as radical or more radical. Also, the chances of just chaos, of the war spilling over. I'm a little spooked by the fact that Iran seems able to shoot missiles and drones and hit hit Arab states, hit Israel, actually, hit an American base, obviously. It looks like we've had 4 casualties, 4 deaths. That could accelerate too, right, in the other direction. So I just think wars are unpredictable, but we're taking a big gamble just doing the bombing, and then all the rhetoric is so over the top. We're with Hegseth this morning and so forth, and we don't really know what's going to happen or happening. So I'm alarmed about this administration doing it, but I'm hopeful that maybe we end up with a decent outcome.
Okay, I think that's the kind of ambiguity that a lot of people have about this war. This morning, Jake Tapper, who conducted an interview with President Trump, said that President Trump said the big one is coming. But the president didn't make it clear what he was talking about. What is the big one, do you think?
I don't know. That's one of the crazy things. I mean, I'm not against a limited operation to really further reduce their nuclear program, reduce their ballistic missile threats, and so forth. But that, honestly, we've already done, basically. I don't think we need to. We're now bombing. This is a pretty big. We're running a huge bombing operation, which is more consistent with trying to really bring down the whole regime. We're bombing sites all over the country. We're not just going after kind of nodes of command and control or nuclear or ballistic missile factories, I don't think. So, I don't know. And then what is the big one? I mean, their nuclear program's in bad shape. I don't think the ballistic missiles are very functioning terribly well. Can't stop all of them. They're scattered all over the place, but big country. But so, I don't know. This is where I worry that it's all gone to Trump's head. I mean, you're a student of psychology, I think, more than I am, probably, Michael. I feel like the Venezuela thing, the fact that he's gotten away with so much, if I can put it that way, in his political career in general, and certainly in the last year. I just think he thinks he can sort of do any of these things and threaten and bluster and unleash these mighty American military forces, which are mighty, and somehow just get a wonderful outcome all the time. And I worry about that.
Well, again, if you're talking about this war right now, you say it's not too late to go to Congress. I think there's overwhelming sense that things would have been better if he had built some public support for the decision to go to war, and he had built some congressional support for the decision to go to war, but he didn't. But at this point, how is it possible to go to Congress without basically ceasing the war right in the middle before it's been resolved?
No, I agree with that. That would not be a good idea, I think. But I don't think so. I think the way it works, and I'm not an expert on this, on the war powers resolutions that are being introduced, is they would start a clock ticking for 60 days or 90 days, where the president has to either within which the president has to come back to Congress to get authorization or stop hostilities. But there is a window of 2 months, I think it is, where he has, the war continues. So no, I don't think Congress would vote to cut off the activities at midnight, Thursday. That would be irresponsible, or cut off funding. But I think there is a way in which they can reestablish the principle of congressional consent and authorization without doing something so abrupt.
Do you think that there would be a majority in the House of Representatives, that there are enough Democrats who would come with presumably the majority of Republicans to support the continuation of this war?
I don't know. A lot depends on sort of what you were saying just before, implying just before when you asked the previous question. How does it look to people? No one's going to want. Not many people are going to want to cut off, operations in midstream and so
Thank
forth
God.
abruptly. But whether if this is more of a signal to the president that you can't do this forever. I mean, there would be something kind of crazy about this thing going on for weeks and weeks and months maybe, and Congress just never having a say. I mean, that does seem a little unhealthy from a Democrat. It's bad enough to start it without Congress having any say. So I guess we'll see later this week.
You say on X that the midterms can't change the executive branch, but the midterms can mitigate and in some cases stop the damage. They can point to a different path ahead. What is the path ahead that you hope to see illuminated by the midterms?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was not writing that particularly in the context of this war, but more generally, I just think it would be healthier to have Democrats control one or both houses and be able to check the president. He's got the Republican Party so thoroughly in his pocket that there's no real check, as we've seen in this and in many, many other cases, ICE and so many other issues. And so I think having the opposition party, which won't be perfect, but at least in control and able to have hearings and to pass legislation, maybe, and force the president to deal with it, or the other house to deal with it, would be a healthy thing.
Do you look forward to the president being subpoenaed for testimony or deposition on Jeffrey Epstein?
I don't know. I mean, it seems a little crazy that I look forward to
Yeah.
finding out what is there, and I look forward to the Justice Department not releasing all the files and clearly redacting things in inappropriate ways and not being cooperative. I'm not sure how much they can really force the Democrats even if they control one or both houses. Pretty hard to make people in the executive branch cooperate if they don't want to. But again, I think it'd be good to have some check and balance. And I do think that issue is lurking out there in the sense that people just feel like we haven't learned what we could learn.
The Texas primary is tomorrow. Do you see Paxton or Cornyn as the winner to represent the Republican Party?
I mean, I have no inside dope. I guess there's a third candidate, so I think you have to get 50%. So I think a runoff's more likely. I kind of think Paxton. I feel like, unfortunately, really the more extreme MAGA types have the advantages in these Republican primaries, and often win them. And so I guess I don't like Paxton, but I think he could win.
Well, all of that is available through Bill Kristol. You can read his latest commentary at michaelmedved.com. Bill, let's hope for the best for our country, and particularly for the fighting men and women of epic fury.